12th day of the 5th month of 2021. But do you remember that today is International Nurses Day? Of course, since the COVID-19 pandemic started and of course landed in Kenya, the nurses have done quite a good job. So kudos to our nurses. Still on the same, kindly remember to keep up all the safety measures when it comes to the COVID-19 protocols, because the 50 new cases of the new Indian variant is right here in the country. We'll be telling you all that plus much more after we have a taste of what we have lined up for you tonight. Beginning of the end, Wajir governor faces his accusers as impeachment proceedings kick off before 11-member Senate committee. Exit Mwaura, enter Leshore. Former Senator Sami Leshore makes a comeback to replace disgraced Isaac Mwaura. 15 more cases of the deadly Indian COVID-19 variant confirmed in the country. And 6th term for Museveni. Uganda's president sworn in for 6th term in office with 10 heads of state in attendance. Let's keep this interactive at KBC Channel 1, at Ben Troy Njue, on all our various social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and also on Twitter. Of course, some of you are already telling me they are locked or tuned for your comments, suggestion, or even where you are watching us from. Highly welcome. Lensa Odingo will be our sign language interpreter. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Welcome. The impeachment trial of Wajir County Governor Mohamed Abdi Mohamud by an 11-member Senate committee kicked off on Wednesday, with Wajir County Assembly pressing charges against the county boss. The County Assembly, which has lined up 4 witnesses, presented evidence substantiating the allegations of gross violation of the Constitution and subsidiary laws, as well as the abuse of office and gross misconduct by the impeached governor. The governor's legal team, led by lawyer Paul Nyamodi, poked holes into evidence adduced by the County Assembly, saying the charges against the governor cannot stand the scrutiny and threshold required for the impeachment of a county governor. Ben Chumba with that report.
That the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matter
Tula ward member of County Assembly Abdullahi Isaac Mohammed was the first witness to take the stand in the case against Wajir Governor Mohamed Abdi Mohamud. In his testimony before the Okongo Mogeni-led committee, Mohammed demonstrated how the accused governor misappropriated county funds, violated procurement laws, where millions of county funds were allegedly paid for goods not supplied.
From Department of Water, only 36 million were paid, and from the Department of Roads, only 43 million was paid. The remaining balance of 119 million cannot be accounted for. So you can see clearly there's a loss of 119 million that was misappropriated.
I believe the allegations contained in the impeachment by the Wajir County Assembly is politically motivated.
With 3 key witnesses to the County Assembly of abuse of office. According to the witness, the embattled governor has delegated his duties to his wife, whom he claimed chairs meetings and makes decisions on behalf of the governor.
The governor has not only allowed Ms. Khaira Omar to run the county, he has actually left the roles that were supposed to be performed by him to her. For example, as an assembly, or every time we meet the governor, or in every sittings where the governor is supposed to address the assembly, the issues that are raised there are raised by Her Excellency the governor, the First Lady.
Does she participate in the meetings?
She participates in the meetings. She makes decisions on behalf of the governor. Sometimes the meetings are chaired by the First Lady.
Mohammed was, however, hard-pressed during a cross-examination by the lead counsel of Governor Mohamud, lawyer Paul Nyamodi, who sought evidence to justify claims made by the witness.
That testimony is not captured in either the witness statement or the motion.
Your Honor, my learned friend is being just disruptive. We don't have to capture each and every issue. It will run into pages and pages.
With tremendous respect of the testimony, the addition that she chairs executive committee meetings is not in any testimony. And that is where my objection comes from.
I didn't mention the issue of executive meeting. I didn't say she sits on the... I said on our meeting as members of the county assembly when we were meeting the governor.
The governor's lawyers, who have lined up 6 witnesses to testify in the case, poked holes into evidence adduced by the county assembly, saying the charges against the governor cannot stand the test of time to impeach a governor.
We'll be inviting this committee to set a precedent that lays bare the standards and the threshold upon which an individual, an innocent man of the governor's caliber, can be held to account.
We will persuade you and your committee that the only option you have, in light of the evidence we show you, is to recommend to the plenary of the Senate that His Excellency Ambassador Mohamud's tenure as governor of Wajir should come to an ignominious end.
I have reached a record as a career public servant for 45 years, and I have not been suspected or accused of any charges relating to violation of the Constitution and other relevant laws of the Republic of Kenya.
Earlier, the committee declined an application by the county assembly to compel the wife, son and daughter of Wajir governor to testify in the case. The special committee, chaired by Okongo Mogeni, is expected to table its findings before the Senate on Monday next week. Ben Chumba, reporting for Channel 1 News.
Now to the health situation in the country. The Ministry of Health has confirmed that 15 out of 18 COVID-19 cases that were subjected to sequence analysis at the Kenya Medical Research Institute turned positive for the new Indian variant. While marking Nurses International Day on Wednesday, where the ministry received donations of personal protective equipment, health officials warning that individuals need to be extra vigilant to tame the new strain. This comes as the country recorded 410 new infections as the government gave an assurance that the second dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is expected to start being administered from the first week of June.
Kenyans may be forced to be extra cautious as they go about their daily duties, as the Ministry of Health confirms more cases of the Indian variant in the country. These are some of the individuals who had just arrived in the country from India before the country stopped flights from India. They were subjected to antigen tests, then PCR, with sequence analysis at Kemre confirming the most dreaded Indian variant.
And I have just received results that 15 out of 17 cases of those samples that were tested turned out to be the variant of concern that is now widely spread in India. One of the sequences was the variant of concern, also known as the UK strain.
Fortunately, there have not been any community transmissions of the Indian variant at the Kibos site in Kisumu following the recent arrival of contractors from India.
We are working very closely with the team in Kisumu. Last week on Friday we had a meeting that was chaired by the governor of Kisumu County, and we have agreed on a raft of measures, including the testing of the 70 people who had been identified through contact tracing.
But with the presence of the new strains in the country, health officials say Kenyans cannot lower their guard yet, even as the ministry heightens surveillance in detecting the new variant.
What this tells us is that we need to be very vigilant. You can see that it's quite widespread now, the Indian variant. I think we really need to be extremely vigilant.
The paramount importance is that the public health social measures will work for this variant and other variants that have been declared variants of concern. So I think the message to the public is that if you wear your mask properly, you hand wash, you keep physical and social distancing, and of course you receive your vaccine, then the risk of you getting the virus is drastically reduced.
This comes as the healthcare fraternity on Wednesday received donations of personal protective equipment from UK Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine and Lord Mahavir Swami followers in commemorating the International Nurses Day.
The British High Commission in Kenya is working hard to support the government's response to the pandemic here in Kenya. For example, we're providing cash to households that have been hit hardest economically.
We will continue with our endeavour to help our people in these times, and it has always been our project that we help people whenever there is a need.
Meanwhile, individuals who received the first jab of AstraZeneca vaccine are set to receive the second dose from 1st of June.
Even as we remain hopeful of the shipment of the second dose through the COVAX mechanism, we are also pursuing other avenues to ensure that this will happen and that the second dose will be received by Kenyans on that day.
On Wednesday, the country recorded 410 new positive cases from a sample size of 3,799 tested in the last 24 hours, with the positivity rate standing at 10.8%. 22 succumbed to the virus, bringing total fatalities to 2,950. Kamche Menza for Channel 1 News.
Now, the governors have called on the National Treasury to expedite the release of 66 billion shillings owed to counties. Council of Governors Chair Martin Wambora urged the Treasury to release the funds to allow county governments to improve their response measures to the COVID-19, pay pending bills and develop counties.
Council of Governors now want the funds owed for the months of December 2020, January, February, March and April 2021 released by the Treasury to allow counties to prepare for COVID-19 and pay their pending bills.
We are 1 month to the end of financial year. We therefore call upon the National Treasury to expedite the release of these funds to allow county governments enhance the response measures towards the COVID-19 pandemic, and also to enable the counties to pay their pending bills and also spend money on development.
Council of Governor Chair Martin Wambora noted that the transport sector has become one of the biggest contributing factors to the rapid spread of COVID-19 despite efforts by the counties to curb the spread of the disease.
In the light of reopening of schools, we urge the Matatu sector to ensure adherence of strict limit on the number of passengers aboard the PSV vehicles.
He added that county governments have also built additional classrooms in collaboration with learning institutions to ensure proper social distancing and safe movement between learners, trainees, teachers and instructors in classrooms and workshops.
Frequent fumigation of common areas and learning stations to prevent the spread of COVID-19 virus.
COG also distributed a total of 1.1 million face masks to learners and trainees in public ECD centres and vocational training centres, as well as an installation of 9,431 portable hand washing stations.
Now, the majority of Kenyans are less concerned about the outbreak of COVID-19 disease as they are with the pandemic's impact on their livelihoods. A survey conducted by Infotrack in conjunction with the Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights further reveals that 54% of Kenyans will shy away from seeking treatment for COVID-19 disease for fear of stigmatization. The survey also reveals that 38% of Kenyans were evicted from their homes between March 2020 and March 2021 owing to the economic impact of the pandemic.
Employment, high cost of living and access to healthcare are the key issues of concern among Kenyans. According to a survey conducted by Infotrack in conjunction with the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, KNCHR, the majority of Kenyans are of the opinion that the COVID-19 pandemic has extremely affected the activities of Kenyans.
Most of the vulnerable families went back up country from the urban population. Most were laid off work. Most had to look for alternatives on how to survive. and it changed the social development of their children.
The survey conducted between July 2020 and March 2021 further reveals Kenyans are concerned about the lack of adequate measures to protect COVID-19 victims from stigmatization and discrimination. In a survey conducted among 2,430 respondents, 39% of Kenyans decried inadequate equipment in health facilities, 33% reporting lack of enough personnel, while 39% cited lack of enough drugs at health facilities. However, most Kenyans opted for public health facilities to private facilities.
There has been minimal to no waivers on fees and charges to the vulnerable groups in our health facilities, both public and private, during this COVID-19 pandemic. And this is cross-cutting to all the ailments, not just the COVID-19, but to all the ailments that the vulnerable groups face.
More than half of the respondents confessed to having had their water supply either disconnected, spent more money on water, and paid for water. 38% of Kenyans had been evicted from their homes between July 2020 and March 2021. KNCHR CEO Dr. Bernard Mogesa emphasizing the need for a multi-stakeholder involving both the private and the public sector to address the issue of unemployment, which has been occasioned by the protracted COVID-19 pandemic period.
Unemployment, high costs of living and access to health care are the key issues of concern among Kenyans. This was cited by 39% of the surveyed respondents. Other key issues affecting Kenyans include...
Let's focus on education matters now, where parents are complaining of hiked fares as they take their children back to school for the third term. The harsh economic times triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic has worsened the situation, with some schools setting up counseling departments to support learners who may have been affected. And as Ruth Wamboi reports, it was a beehive of activities at bus termini in Nairobi as parents and students hurried to reach their destinations on time.
Schools have reopened for third-term learning in May, a calendar that was disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Early Wednesday morning, and parents, guardians and students can be seen at many public service vehicle termini. Parents expressing their pain at the hard economic times they are facing as the children go back to school.
Imepanda, ukiangalia ka last time tulikuwa tunalipa I think it was 300 na sasa ukiangalia we are paying 600. Pia imepanda. Ukiangalia unaona? Pia imepanda.
Sasa changamoto ni kuwa tunaongezwa na mambo hakuna kazi saa hii.
Bei imepanda. Jana lazima mtoto sasa aende shule kwa sababu hatuwezi tukaacha mtoto akiwa hapa.
This is as matatu operators claim they have only hiked the fares by a small margin to cater for their operational costs.
Kwa hivyo iko 100 juu kwa ile bei ya kawaida.
For those who have already reported to school like St. George's Primary and Secondary School in Nairobi, learners are already familiarizing with the third-term syllabus. St. George's Girls Secondary School Principal Lucy Rukunga says students performed well in the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education and they are working towards keeping up the momentum.
217 scored C+ and above.
The school has put up a raft of measures to protect students amid the COVID-19 disease.
So have the posters around the compound and in their classrooms that are reminding them constantly as they walk around, as they're in the class, that there is COVID around us. We also do temperature taking every morning and we register.
The third term will end on July 10, 2021, and learners will have a one-week holiday before schools reopen for the next academic year.
In bid to make up for the time that was lost during the prolonged closure last year, we deliberately created a tight academic calendar that enables us to accelerate completion of school terms.
Reporting for Channel 1 News from St. George's Primary School here in Nairobi, I'm Ruth Wamboi.
And still on education matters, it has been jubilation galore as learners from various parts of the country continue to celebrate exemplary performance in their recently released Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education results. Patricia Waidera with the story of some of the winners.
Nizar Naffor scored an A- in the 2020 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination released on Monday. Nizar says he had expected to perform better, even as he acknowledges an A- is no mean feat.
Ni mpango wa Mungu, yani it's the plan of God. I got an A- with an 80. So it was only 1 point to my goal, but I thank God, and I would like to study medicine and later major in neurosurgery in the university.
Nizar is among the 84 students from Wami High School, a private institution in Nairobi South Beach Estate, who attained the minimum requirement needed to join university.
We had a target of 8.5 points, and we have successfully scored 8.4 points. We only fall short of 0.1 from our target.
Having this team of teachers that is so passionate, and everybody was really interested in really not giving a story that my subject didn't do well because of the COVID. We really didn't want that to be part of our story.
We still have hope. With our current Form 3s, will be moving to Form 4 in July, God willing, and their target is at 9.5, and we believe they will achieve that target.
Nizar is among the 84 students from Wami High School, a private institution in Nairobi South Beach Estate, who attained the minimum requirement needed to join university. Elsewhere, 18-year-old Abdulmalik Isaac Adam from Kambigaba in the outskirts of Isiolo County is celebrating success despite a hearing impairment which made him almost drop out of school. Abdulmalik overcame the challenge encouraged by his mother to top Isiolo Boys High School by scoring B-plane, missing the B+ grade by just a point.
Kwa changamoto ambayo nilipata, moja ilikuwa masikio. Nilikuwa sisikii vizuri. Kuanzia shida hili nianzia pale ambapo nilikuwa darasa la 7.
In Mandera County, celebrations rocked Mandera Secondary School after Abdi Said attained a B+ of 72 points to emerge top in the country. Said, while thanking his parents and teachers at the government, took up insecurity in Mandera, which saw a large number of non-local teachers seeking transfers, which affected learners.
My aspirations was I wanted to do medicine, and I want to highly request the government to assist me go through that course. That was my ambition.
Meanwhile, Joe filled the air in Narok town as over 200 students of Naikara High School marched on the streets, chanting songs of victory after their school emerged the best in the country. The school's best student was Samuel Nkuyo, who scored a grade of A- of 75 points. And in Baringo Central, there was jubilation after Isaiah Ayengo of Kapsabet Boys High School emerged among top 10 best candidates countrywide. Ayengo, who wants to study medicine, attributed his success to hard work and determination.
When we were told to come home, we were uncertain about the situation, but myself, I knew that no matter what, I had to pass in my examination so that I can get that good course that I'm going to do in the university.
At about 23 minutes past the hour, we are taking our first quick break. But before we do that, let me appreciate Joshua Songo. You're watching from Isoge Skimi, Nyamira County. Nax Makokuto, you're tuned in from Migori. Oyando Wycliffe, you're watching from 045, Kisii County. Anthony Mutunga, you're following. Coach Brian from Barasendu, Nandi Hills. Vicky Reddy from Embu, saying KBC favorite news channel. Thank you so much. And also Moti watching KBC at 9, tuned in from 4 County. Keep them coming, your interactive segment. And of course, we have to congratulate our students because 100% transition to tertiary education is no mean feat. Let's take that break. When I come back, I'll be telling you where our president was today and who was sworn in as, no, who was inaugurated rather as president today as well.
Did
Did you know that a life policy can be used as an investment that provides for future savings paid upon maturity? Now you know. IRA, promoting insurance, protecting the insured.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 4032353, alafu utakuwa unaomoka na hizi bidhaa. Kumbuka, kwenye QuickBin ni bidhaa bora zaidi kwa bei ya chini kwa chini.
Kupata skiza tune hii, jiamini, dial *811 *397#.
Jiamini na ujikubali kuwa wewe kibinafsi. Ikiwezekana, cheza kama wewe, kwa sababu wengine wote wameshachukuliwa. Aliyesalia ni wewe mwenyewe, na kando yako hakuna mwingine. Inakufaa kucheza ngoma kiwewe, kana kwamba hamna yeyote anayekutazama. Kuwa mabadiliko
Ili kupata skiza tune hiyo ya jiamini, dial *811 *397#. *811 *397#.
Welcome back. We are glad you're watching. Moving on, former Samburu Senator Sammy Prisa Leshore has been gazetted to replace Isaac Mwaura as Jubilee's nominated senator representing persons with disabilities. In the Gazette notice dated 11th May 2021, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IBC, stated that Mwaura stands disqualified as a member to the Senate representing persons with disabilities. Isaac Mwaura was expelled from Jubilee Party on accusations of party disloyalty after he campaigned for a candidate of a different political outfit. A section of leaders from Samburu and Murang'a counties have hailed the nomination of Leshore.
We know this will go a long way in the provision of services to the people of Samburu County and actually providing oversight for us as a county government and for the leadership of this county to come together to serve these people, the great people of Samburu County.
Tuko ndani ya serikali, tutashikana mkono, tutafanya kazi pamoja tukiwa wananchi community ya Samburu County.
I don't know what to tell Mr. Mwaura, lakini niliona Mwaura ni kijana ambaye pia alianza kurukaruka. Na uweze kuwa mtu wa kurukaruka na unaambiwa wewe tulia hapa na serikali hii ndio ilikupatia, hii chama yako ndio ilikupatia kiti, wewe umeenda umeingia kwa chama zingine. Sasa lazima ni kama tu yeye mwenyewe alitaka tu iende hivyo. Kwa hivyo I just say that the party had to do what it needs to do.
And across borders, President Uhuru Kenyatta today joined several other African heads of state at the inauguration of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in Kampala, Uganda for the 6th elective term in office. President Kenyatta, who is the current chairperson of the East African Community, was accompanied by 3 cabinet secretaries.
President Kenyatta, who is the current chairperson of the East African Community, joined 10 other heads of state in Kampala, Uganda, for the swearing-in ceremony of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
I, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I shall faithfully exercise the functions of the President of Uganda and shall uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution.
Other heads of state who attended the ceremony at Kololo Independence Grounds in central Kampala included Felix Tshisekedi of DRC Congo, Alpha Conde of Guinea, Salva Kiir Mayardit of South Sudan, Hage Geingob of Namibia, and Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana. Others were Emmerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe, Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo of Somalia, Evariste Ndayishimiye of Burundi, Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania, and Saleh Zewde of Ethiopia. In his inauguration address, President Yoweri Museveni thanked President Kenyatta and other regional heads of state for opening up their markets to Ugandan exports.
Nataka kushukuru Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta amenipatia mkataba wa tani elfu 90 kwa kila mwaka.
At the same time, President Museveni castigated unnamed foreign powers for continuing to lecture African countries on good governance, saying some of them don't mean well for the continent.
Quite laughable to try to give lectures about democracy to architects of such a system.
Ruth Wamboi for Channel 1 News.
On a sad note, a family in Mombasa County is seeking to unravel the circumstances that led to the unfortunate death of their kinsman at a sack producing company in Shimanzi, Mvita constituency. According to the deceased father, Noah Ogada, a workmate alerted him of his son's death at dawn by alleged electrocution. However, after a futile morning search at the Coast General Hospital, unidentified men who dumped the body at the mortuary 5 hours later after the alleged time of death.
The family of 24-year-old Wisdom Ogada, a casual laborer at a sack-producing farm in Shimanzi Mvita constituency in Mombasa, is in distress following his untimely death. The 24-year-old is said to have died at dawn on Wednesday after he was allegedly electrocuted at the place of work. According to his father, Noah Ogada, a workmate called to inform him of his son's death.
Saa 12 leo asubuhi nilipata simu kwa kijana wangu ameumia kazini na hawezi kuadmitiwa hospitali mpaka awe na ID. So nilijaribu juu chini, nikaenda hospitali, sikumpata hospitali.
Noah's relentless search for his son at the Coast General Hospital on Wednesday morning proved futile.
Wakaniruhusu, nimeenda the whole emergency ward, sikumuona. Na hata kwa entry book haikuwa jina yake.
Another tip-off from another workmate will send him back to the facility, but this time round at the mortuary. And sure enough, his son's body was preserved at the facility. However, he claims that his body did not have any visible signs that he might have succumbed to electrocution.
Waliponiambia niko mortuary, tumeenda, attendant tunauliza nani ameleta huyu, pia sijaambiwa mpaka sasa hivi. Nimempata yuko na overall, na overall yuko halfway, na overall is torn. Na kama ni electrocution, ningepata kama pengine yuko black, na the body is just clear.
The company is yet to contact the deceased next of kin, a move that appears sinister according to the distraught family.
Wao ndio wanatakana watafute family hata kama mtu amekufa, because where we work normally accidents are there, it can happen, lakini unawasiliana na the concerned persons, watu wanakaa pamoja wanaongea, na sasa tungekuwa tumeidentify kama ni kifo, the body is there, na ingekuwa hakuna mambo mengi, na haikuwa hivyo.
Kwa sasa hatujui what transpired. We are waiting for police wafanye postmortem pamoja na family ndio to establish what transpired. Hata kama amepata ajali kazini, next of kin ajulishwe immediately, kama bibi yake, mamake, ndugu yake ama babake. Lakini hii kampuni hataki kupigia familia kuwajulisha, ni jambo fishi, na hatujui kwa nini wanafanya hivyo.
Juni Karisa Mbele for Channel 1 News from Mombasa County.
Moving on, a sugarcane trailer driver escaped death narrowly Wednesday morning after the Oria Bridge in Migori County caved in, plunging the overloaded truck into River Kuja. More of these and other stories in our county wrap with Nisi Imano.
The lorry, which was carrying sugarcane to Sukari Industries in Diwa, Homa Bay County, plunged into the swollen River Kuja after the Oria Bridge collapsed. Migori Governor Okoth Obado said that the bridge, which connects Migori County and Homa Bay County, was built by the British settlers and had long outlived its time. The affected residents of Oria, Ongito and Diwa have now been forced to use a boat to cross the crocodile and hippo-infested river.
Because now we are only left with one bridge down there. If it collapses like this one here, then our communication with the people on the other side of the river will be completely cut off. So we are not going to allow any heavy or cane vehicle or any heavy vehicle carrying whatever it is.
As the world celebrates World Nurses Day, Busia County is experiencing shortage of nurses. According to County Chief Officer Dr. Isaac Omeri, 10 nurses have contracted COVID-19 and one of them has lost her life while in the line of duty.
Kwamba ni zaidi ya nurses, over 10 nurses waliweza kuambukizwa na ugonjwa wa COVID, lakini they're over that number.
Nairobi Metropolitan Services will upgrade Korogosho Health Facility to Level 5 hospital by July this year to supplement the huge traffic of patients visiting Mama Lucy Hospital. Speaking at Mama Lucy Hospital during the launch of the first blood collection center in Nairobi, NMS Director Major General Mohammed Badi at the same time said beginning of July, Kenyatta National Hospital will strictly offer referral services.
We are working very hard to ensure that no hospital will remain unopened when it comes to the end of June, because the deadline that we anticipate between Ministry of Health and ourselves is closure of Kenyatta National Hospital to walk-in patients by first week of July.
Elsewhere in Nakuru, traders at the Njoro market are up in arms with the local county government for what they term as deplorable and sorry state of the facility. The traders say that their place of work has increasingly turned into a health hazard due to lack of toilets, clean water and garbage disposal bins.
Ya kwanza tulichibua choo hapa kidogo. Na hiyo choo ukienda saa hii huwezi taka kuingia. Na kila siku tunalipa anzo. Kila Jumatano na Jumamosi tumekuwa tukilipa, isipokuwa wakati huu ambao kuna corona.
In Murang'a, two factions belonging to Governor Mwangi wa Iria and Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro engaged in cat and mouse games as Nyoro's group tried to stop protests aimed at discrediting the MP over his opposition to BBI bill. Finally, in Nyamira, a survey conducted by Performance Monitoring for Action PMA project revealed a decrease in family planning commodities uptake. The development, according to the survey, is attributed to failure by women to visit health facilities for fear of contracting coronavirus.
And also there's another challenge whereby we realized that there was, in other facilities, we had stockouts of commodities. The stock out of commodities made the mothers not to get their family planning method of choice. In other words, we need also to work on that so that we can get enough commodities so that our people can get the family planning method that they want.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Nisi Imano Okoth.
From the counties, we take our second breather, but when we come back, we will be delving into the world of business. Keep it Channel 1.
Kwa mfano ndani ya matatu
Unajua? Saturday yaandikangu hivyo.
Ni nini wewe?
Yaani mtu mzima na miaka zake hizo miaka zote. Mtu ajui kujua kuandika note. Note tu peke yake. Kusoma kweli inasaidia.
Kijana, nini nakusumbua na mimi?
Nauliza ni ungwana.
Don't you dare insult me, okay?
Mama Angel.
Don't you dare.
me.
Oh, please.
Let the dead bury their dead, right?
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
I am Loteni now. Atito, I am never coming to clean your house again. You can now clean your smelling gym clothes, you are smelling bathroom, you are smelling kitchen, you are smelling everything.
Shut up! Or better off, you better let me know tomorrow so that I can bring you women clothing. You join the women's club, you win.
Julia. Julia.
Amo.
You wijo.
This thing needs patience and precision. When you go in too fast, of course you will get tired very easily.
Too much speaking. Where are we going to get the and show us the action?
They say kutembea kwingi kuona mengi. Uopie kime.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
The substitute.
We sum up DFB Pokal semi-finals as having been dramatic. The duo of courageous RB Leipzig and ruthless Borussia Dortmund, oozing class on the ball, have booked their tickets in the DFB Pokal final. All guns blazing.
We're in big trouble here. Torgan Hazard will win the foot race. It's Hazard!
Looking ahead, who will weather the attendant football storm and keep alive their dreams of winning this year's DFB Cup? Indeed, a trophy will be the icing on the cake. On Thursday, 13th of May 2021 at 9:45 p.m, KBC Channel 1 will be in attendance at Berlin's Olympia Stadium to bring you this duel, live and exclusive until the last moment. On KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Before we do business, let's head to the corridors of justice, where a suspect accused of raping a schoolgirl after offering her a ride in his vehicle will be remanded for 4 more days to allow him receive medical attention on the injuries he sustained after members of public beat him up. Limuru, Law Court's Chief Magistrate Evelyn Olwande ordered the suspect be detained at Tigoni Police Station and be arraigned in court on Monday, where he is expected to be charged with rape. 34-year-old Peter Mbiriri will remain in custody until Monday next week, when he is expected to face rape charges.
The accused shall remain in custody at Tigoni Police Station as he undergoes further treatment.
It is alleged that Mbiriri offered a schoolgirl a lift in his vehicle before he changed course and drove into a tea plantation, where he raped and threatened to kill her if she raised the alarm.
There was a motor vehicle in a ditch, and when my officers rushed there, they found a scene.
In an act of courage, the victim is said to have grabbed the car steering wheel, making the vehicle land in a ditch, a move that attracted tea pickers who rushed to her aid and subsequently beat the man senseless. Limuru Sub-County Police Commandant Elaine Mola said the police also found fake currency in the car.
Then, upon search of the vehicle, we found currency, fake currency. He was in the process of cleaning it up or something. So we have also charged him with dealing in fake currency.
Elsewhere, an officer of the State Law Office Civil Litigation Department has been released on bond after denying 2 counts of receiving a bribe. It is alleged that on September the 10th, 2019, Yakia Abubakar Omar requested a financial benefit of 2,500 shillings from Kalitas Wilunda in order to release a birth certificate belonging to his daughter. He is said to have received the said amount a day later at a city building. The case will be mentioned on May 27, 2021. Moving on, businesses that deal with fresh produce, beef products, innovation services, textiles and fashion have been encouraged to participate in the upcoming 2020 Dubai Expo in efforts to tap more export markets. Speaking virtually in a private sector sensitization forum on Kenya's participation at the 2020 Dubai Expo, the Kenya Association of Manufacturers CEO Phyllis Wakiaga said it is time to diversify Kenya's export markets.
At the moment, Kenya's exports to the Gulf region stands at a mere 0.11% market share, or about $555 million out of a potential $525 billion of the region's total imports. However, new businesses are expected to be generated to the tune of $1.5 billion following business leads in both trade, investments and tourism as a result of proper marketing, exposure and participation.
Key goal, as we all know, is competitiveness, working together with government to address issues that affect the competitiveness of the manufacturing sector and eventually our access to markets. And we are very keen to see how we can work together with Teproba to increase our export market, diversify, get into new products, and basically just grow that area.
Kenya has confirmed participation in the World Expo Dubai 2020 between October 2021 to March 31st, 2022, that was postponed for 1 year due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The expo will be focusing on health and wellness, travel connectivity, food, agriculture, livelihoods, global goals, and water. So this expo will provide an opportunity for Kenyan manufacturers to showcase their products and their services to the world.
Delegates cited Saudi Arabia with a population of 34.27 million and GDP per capita of $23,140, noting that the Gulf has high net worth investors, which Kenya needs to tap.
Kenya's participation shall also promote global cooperation through the trade and investment, and also provide a good information for us to exchange innovative ideas on sustainable development. We'll also be promoting the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya policy and ultimately enhancing our brand image as a country.
UAE is supporting some countries by providing free exhibition spaces and working with other nations in developing themes and concepts that work well in positioning them. Alan Auko, Channel 1 Business.
And at least 100 youth drawn from Lamu County recruited in December of 2019 have been deployed to the Lamu port ahead of its scheduled operationalization launch next week. The newly inducted staff will complement the existing personnel at the Lamu port.
The Kenya Ports Authority is abuzz as the management races against time to put in place final touches ahead of the docking of the first ship next week. Over 100 youth drawn from various localities in Lamu are currently undergoing a rigorous induction process before they report to work on Monday next week.
This is their second week, and we have put them in class where they've been taken through the safety measures, what they need to do when they are on the ground. We got 30% of the women representation. We got people living with disability, we got 1 person. Remember, we were relying on the applications that came through. If you look at them, they're still very, very young. And for them, the sky is the limit. So for them to be able to grow within the port, here in Kenya and internationally, then we need to develop them career-wise.
The newly recruited workforce will supplement 60 other experienced dock workers who had been transferred to the facility late last year.
We cannot send new people who have not worked in a port, they don't have the experience, and send them to work at Lamu Port. We'll be setting them up for failure. That's not our agenda. As much as rumors are going around that we are replacing people with other people, there's no one who has been replaced. We have put a lot of effort even to reach people who have changed numbers. So we've gone back to the same chiefs. We are looking for this person. Where are they? And they have turned up, all of them. There is no one who has been replaced.
The docking of the first ship on Thursday next week is expected to mark the port's launch.
As we grow, then that creates the need to check out which other skills are required and how many more have to come. You can't employ all the number you would have wanted at a go. It goes with the need and etc. And don't forget, these are direct employment by the port, okay, by KPA. But remember, as investments grow as a result of the port, we'll also have more other indirect employments whereby the private sector will come in and etc. and so on.
Junica Risambele from Mombasa County.
And the Nairobi Securities Exchange is encouraging firms and investors to tap the various innovative products on the platform. Addressing a webinar, NSC Chief Executive Godfrey Odundo singled out the unquoted securities platform, which he says is a soft landing for companies intending to list on the main segments in future, since the listing requirements are heavily relaxed. Here are the details of this and other stories in our corporate briefs.
In mid-December last year, the Nairobi Securities Exchange launched the Unquoted Securities Platform, a market infrastructure aimed at facilitating the trading, clearing and settlement of securities of unquoted companies. 5 months later, the platform just has 2 listings. The boss is encouraging investors and firms to consider the Unquoted Securities Platform to take advantage of relaxed listing rules and requirements, including no listing fee. NSC Chief Executive Godfrey Odundo sees the Unquoted Securities Platform as a soft landing for firms keen on listing on the main segments in future. And according to the latest PwC Africa VAT report, operationalization of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement has created opportunities for economic recovery and the development of our powerful economic trading bloc.
In the midst of the gloom, the Africa Free Trade or Africa Continental Free Trade Area presents us with an opportunity that allows us to rethink how we restart our economies, how we rethink our economies, and how we reconfigure our economies into the future.
Bob Kabochi, PwC Africa Indirect Tax Leader, says
governments are under pressure to collect taxes to provide for their populations. So we focused on countries that have sought different ways of varying their VAT regimes, their customs regime, or even the excise duty regime to enhance their revenue collection.
AFCTA has helped actualize the long-standing intention of increasing trade among African countries. The report indicates a shift by a majority of African countries to prioritize enhanced tax compliance as a way to address tax revenue shortfalls and protect the existing tax base from global shocks precipitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, InterSwitch Group has rolled out How2Pay, a secure digital payment disbursement solution that enables financial institutions, including banks, SACCOs, and digital lenders, corporates and government organizations, make mass payments to multiple recipients and beneficiaries at the click of a button.
A product like How2Pay is perfect for a period like COVID or when you have any kind of a crisis. Why? Because you could be sitting at home and making payments of your salaries to your staff from the comfort of your house. And therefore, if your staff are unable to go to the bank to collect, money or to make those transfers or get to the office, they can do it from the comfort of wherever they're located. So the people who are authorized to make the payments can do that without any hassle whatsoever.
Romana Rajput says the system automates existing manual payment processes, helping organizations initiate, review, authorize and monitor payment processes with minimal human intervention. Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Banki imeconfirm pesa zimeingia. Congratulations Sam, gari ni lako sasa.
Shukran. Oi boss,
Suniache insurance yako nitumie kabla nijipange.
Insurance ya gari haiwezi kuwa transferred kwa mtu mwingine.
Sina habari na nikuulize, hii comprehensive insurance inakava vitu gani?
Comprehensive motor insurance inakava gari linapoharibika wakati wa ajali pamoja na uharibifu wa mali ya mtu mwingine, gari likiibiwa au likichomeka. Pia inakava passenger wa gari lako na passenger wa lile gari lingine kunapotokea ajali.
Kwani umenisahau mimi kama driver?
Dereva hakui covered na comprehensive insurance, ila anajitafutia personal accident cover.
Umenichanua. Rose, hata nishughulikie hiyo insurance, nitakujia gari kesho.
Okay, sawa.
Yeah.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na IRA. IRA, bima bora kwa taifa.